It's Week 14 of the National Football League, and we'll see the Steelers' Offensive Player of the Year. Author of an 1,100-yard season so far, and hoping to add more. It's the Steelers and the Bengals, and it's kicking off next on Madden NFL 23.
It's dreary and miserable throughout much of the Midwest, but don't fear, we've got football to perk up our spirits as we join you from Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gunn. To my left, Charles Davis. And Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they've handled all covers through the first 3 months, a perfect 12-0.
Yeah, they're 3/4 of the way to a perfect season, and now's where it really starts to get into your mind. We'll see if it affects their play in any way.
Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This will be fielded inside the 5. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
Opening play, and Goff wants to pass it. And his first look is incomplete. Well, these two teams, they met up way back in the season opener. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. On 2nd and 10, Goff to Mixon on the check down. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Throwing on 3rd, Goff. And he'll just get rid of it.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Olszewski now to return. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And a look at a guy, definitely got a little razzle-dazzle to him. Can do it with his arm or his legs. Their mobile QB.
And when you watch Kenny Pickett play, you see a young man who got better every season in college and really blossomed in his final campaign, took his game to a new level, and made him a first-round pick in the NFL. He's the type of kid who can beat you with his mind, beat you with his arm, and occasionally with his legs. A tough, skilled performer. Kenny Pickett, he's got some moxie to him.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. But partner, this offense 12-0 now on the year following their latest victory. And during the week, a lot of folks making comparisons between this squad and the 1985 Bears. You know, they too were 20. Pickett in trouble, and down he goes. Sam Hubbard in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Pickett and the Steelers in need of a big play here. 3rd and long after the sack. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. He's at the 50, the 30, 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Now Cade York for the extra point. And we'll see if this rain affects the team's decisions going forward, but they kick it here, and it's good. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
It's 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10. Goff again. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
4th down, out comes the punter, Drew Chrisman.
Leave the block in the back. Return team.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. To the air on 1st down with Pickett. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll make it 2nd down.
2nd and 5 at the 34-yard line.
Pickett. And that is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up 3rd down. Looking to throw, Pickett. Escaping the pressure right. And some room to work. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down. Well, when you've got a quarterback like this dead to rights, you got to make sure to wrap up. Instead, though, he breaks free and off he goes. This will be caught inside the 10. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That one good for 37 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now Pickett. Steps away to his left. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 1. Here's Pickett. Flush to his right. The tally there, -2 yards. Brings up 3rd down. Pickett will look to throw it here. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Kenny Pickett, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Steelers lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. For the Bengals offense getting set and ready to go again here. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Now he's going to swing this one out to his right. This defense for the Steelers, they were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
And maybe shades of the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. Well, Charles, not only did they fumble the football, but they're starting to fumble away their chances here a little bit. We've got a 3-score ball game now here in the first half.
And the last thing you want to do, partner, is help the other team with what are avoidable turnovers. You want to hang on to the football because you're already playing against a good team. You're just making it easier for them by giving them extra opportunities.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. A CD after this game, there will be 4 weeks left in the regular season. So this is far from the final version of what we'll see come January, more of a first draft, if you will, as all these teams fight for a better position.
And you pointed it out so accurately there, Brandon. After this game, 4 weeks left in the regular season, and then the playoffs officially begin. But for some teams, trying to fight to make it to the playoffs, they're actually in a playoff push, right?
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And a tough turnover there, as now they will have it at the 6-yard line, 1st and goal. This defense, Charles, very opportunistic here early. A second fumble recovery in this first quarter of play.
Yeah, you mentioned the right word, opportunistic and aggressive, because once they got the first fumble recovery, they were eager to get a second one, and sometimes they just come in bunches on the flip.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Tyler Higbee, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, CD, what a start for them. Still in the first quarter. They're absolutely blitzing them. All the points that they've put up, I'm not sure what you say on the other sideline right now.
I think it's as simple as this, partner. The way that they're playing, there's no limits on what this lead could become.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Now on 2nd and 13. Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. Well, Charles, I mean, things just seem to be getting worse and worse for one sideline. Or to flip it over after that fumble return for a touchdown, better and better on the opposite end. What an impressive first half performance.
And partner, I know the saying in the NFL goes that no lead is safe, but I will say that this one seems pretty secure. And if we continue to see plays like that, I'm going to switch back and say this lead is safe.
So plenty of fireworks here early. 35-0 now as the kick is away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this will be recovered at least by the offense, but he'll be taken down in the end zone, and that is going to be a safety. Well, I'm not totally privy to what went on with their offensive meetings, but, Charles, something tells me that one wasn't in the plan.
Yeah, when we had our production meeting, they didn't exactly share that with us, but I'm pretty sure that on the play sheet, the run backwards into your own end zone play was not written down.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. But, Charles, they're really stringing these possessions and scores together early. We're still in the first quarter, but if they can score again here, look out.
Yeah, and as you taught me when we're broadcasting games, one word we're supposed to avoid, and that's blowout. But that's exactly what's going on here. Down 3 possessions just the first quarter. That goes beyond any worst-case scenario we might have thought coming into this game. And another touchdown here, That should eliminate any hopes for any type of a comeback.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Pickett back to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Frankly, I don't know that this defense knows what to do anymore. Just look at their body language out there. The passing game has absolutely been relentless throughout.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Pickett, he'll look to throw it. Got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Gunnar Olszewski, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Steelers extend their lead yet again. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is in a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it.
The conversion is no good.
Well, I have to admit, I'm scratching my head a little bit here trying to make sense of what I just saw. Number one, huge lead. Just kick the extra point and be done with it. Number two, if you are going to go for two, just line up and go for it from the 2-yard line. Why make it so difficult? That's a long way to go to try and pick up some points.
And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Now gone. A throw for Boyd, but it's intercepted. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six for a Steeler touchdown. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all three phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick six.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the second quarter.
York now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. And out now, here come the Bengals. They've got to be absolutely reeling right now. Couldn't have expected to be down this big this early. But that's the spot they're in as they come up to try again here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered, because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
3rd and long. It's gone. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And this will be scooped up in the end zone. A defender gets there, and it's a touchdown. That's something you have to be wary of on your side of the field, that close to the goal line. The defense, they are looking for that football. They got it. They scored it.
You are so right, and the quarterback has to speed things up himself. So close to the goal line, they're going to get after you. Make sure you get rid of the football and in a safe place.
Extra point by York is up and good. And the route is on here in this first half.
York, take off.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be fielded inside the 5. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Cincinnati set to take over once again. They find themselves in a good-size hole here, and a good-size hole early on in this game as they come up on first down.
It's one play at a time, baby. Let's go.
Here's Goff. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time multiple guys get to him. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the #1 spot.
Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Cole Holcomb. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. Boy, this defense is circling early. A pick 6 there, and they are off to the races here this first quarter.
And, partner, when you get off to a first-quarter lead like this, it really frees you up defensively to take some chances, really apply some heat. And that was just a tremendous play to pick that ball off and bring it back for a score.
Extra point by York is up and good. And the route is on here in this first half.
Bengals nothing. York, take off.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. And not the first time that they're coming back out off of a turnover, but the last one really hurt Charles with that pick 6.
And it feels like the whole team's infected right now, doesn't it? It's not just been one person. It's kind of been a group effort where the mistakes have happened. Can they put that aside, kind of start over, and put together a nice drive?
To throw again on second down. Goff. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
The Steelers ready to take over on offense. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Pickett. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. Back to throw, Pickett. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. But that shouldn't matter a great deal as they still lead by a bundle here. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Steelers will take over here just shy of the 30. Oh, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs. Just shy of the 30. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Pickett. He's going to try and go deep again. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A gain of 32 that time.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for him.
Pass over the middle tipped, but he still brings it in. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Pat Freiermuth with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Steelers are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
The York on now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Bengals set to take over. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw is Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
York now for the extra point. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And this play is not going to work. He's out of bounds, well shy of the goal line, and the try for two, unsuccessful.
I know they're not asking me, but I'll give you my opinion anyway. I think it's time to erase that play from the call sheet. I guess they figure with the big lead they can experiment a little bit, but all in all, just go ahead and put that play on ice.
And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hit.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. Huge, huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
The York on now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded right around the 8. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Bengals offense returns to the field. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. Following the fumble recovery. Pickett, and he's going to be taken down. It's a sack, and they fail on the try for 2. They had the big play on the fumble return. They were looking for the 1-2 punch, but they couldn't get that 2-point conversion.
And I have to wonder, were they scheduled to go ahead and kick the extra point, but after a play like that, you talk about the 1-2 punch, right? It's a momentum play.
Now a hit and a loose football. And he'll be down at the 6-yard line.
As that ball got away from him and he saw the opposing team recover it.
You felt his pain?
Oh, I felt his pain, and you know what was going through his head. Tuck it away. Take care of the ball. All the things he hears all week in practice, he didn't carry it over into the game.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Tyler Higbee, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Steelers just continue to roll. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know what I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense.
Yeah, that's true. You've said that before.
At their own 18-yard line.
Goff on first down. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Out of the gun. Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded right around the 8. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough pat.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. York now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right, throw it out the window.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they're set up in a golden position here right around the 10-yard line. In their locker room, they've got a sign that says defense wins championships. And, Charles, they pointed to that this week, said that has to be us. Looking good early.
I like how you saw that because of the bold letters, right?
And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Cooper Kupp from 10 yards out. And the Steelers have got it on cruise control. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
The York on now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. A nice tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position and only one play to score. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. This offense hoping to do better than last drive. Remember, they had the fumble that set up the short field, and then they gave up the touchdown, CD.
And so many people talk about how you have to have a short memory after you make a mistake in the NFL. I don't totally subscribe to that, partner. I think that you have to remember what you did and figure out how to not do it again. Get out there and execute the next time out. Avoid those errors and get some momentum built back up for your offense.
On 2nd and 11 now. Goff. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. It'll go as a loss of 3 on the sack, and it brings up 3rd down. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And they will have the football deep in enemy territory all the way at the 10-yard line. The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. Following the fumble recovery. Pickett. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Kenny Pickett with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Steelers are pouring it on. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? But I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
York now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
Now Goff taps this forward. That's a jet sweep. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
The trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
The York on now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded right around the 8. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
And in just about every game we see, partner, what do we do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to
the turnover differential.
Without a doubt, because when we see that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it.
Goff. And now here is another interception. picked off by Cole Holcomb. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. Well, that is now his 5th interception thrown in this game. And, Charles, you've got to tip your cap to this defense. I mean, they have been so impressive reading these passes, stepping in those lanes, and picking them off.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense.
Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Gunnar Olszewski halfway to 100 now with career touchdown number 50. And the Steelers extend their lead yet again. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that, so he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Extra point by York is up and good. And the route is on here in this first half.
York, kick off.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. This offense returning out there, and really you remember the last drive, Charles, it was over before it even began. They threw the interception on the very first play.
And what that means is for all these guys, it's been a while since they've been out there going full speed, so they've got to get everyone back out there, run a couple of your go-to plays, make sure you get your offense oiled up a little bit. They've got to be able to start fast, but they've got to be efficient as well.
Especially the quarterback.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Goff now to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately had an alert teammate who...
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Extra point by York is up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Now they have done themselves absolutely no favors to earn a win today in this one, Charles. The turnover woes continue. On that last drive, they had that fumble that led to a touchdown.
And, Brandon, I would say they have a mission on this drive, and bottom line is protect the football and just put together something that they can let the last drive go. Yeah, it was a bad play. They gave up points, but that doesn't mean it has to go that way the rest of this ball game. Do what you do best on offense and try and put the ball in the end zone yourself.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Goff toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Well, after incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. Unable to corral him. He fights through.
Jared Goff sacked. Fumble on the play. Recovered by...
Every week we hear talk about create turnovers. In particular, they wanted to force some fumbles. They got one right there.
And it shows you how the game has changed over time. It used to be good enough for a guy to get a sack of a quarterback in the pocket. Now, if you come to the sidelines and you didn't knock the ball free, your coaches are upset with you. All right, so if you're a quarterback, it starts all the way back into you.
Pushing and fighting his way in for a Steeler touchdown. on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Steelers just continue to roll. Extra point by York is up and good. And the route This first half.
Cade York to kick off.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. From the 6. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
He was defended by Patrick Peterson.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Goff, nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers.
Missed.
It will not go down, and he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Cade York to kick off.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded right around the 8. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone. And that one is his 2nd fumble loss. Not a good look out of your return man.
And not only does he hurt the momentum for his team or even change momentum of the game, but now they've got a decision to make on his own sideline. Does he continue to do that?
Touchdown! Gunnar Olszewski on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Steelers have got it on cruise control. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together.
And my goodness, another interception. It's picked by the linebacker, T.J. Watt. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick 6.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
Cade York to kick off.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded right around the 8. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. But the Bengals offense getting set and ready to go again here. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you...
And now here is another interception. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six for a Steeler touchdown. I cannot imagine a more perfect half of football for one side, CD, and a more disastrous half of football for another side. But if you focus on the positive half, with this pick six, you look at where that lead is at, and to think that we are only in the second quarter, my goodness.
I love the expression, my goodness indeed. Pretty obvious. It's a free fall out there. Everybody gets a chance to make a play. And if you're on the field, you've got a great chance of being the next guy that your teammates are celebrating.
York now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six.
York,
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
At their own 24-yard line.
In search of redemption from the pick six. Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
A shotgun snap for Goff. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know that there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
Throwing on 3rd. Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Pickett to throw on 1st down. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So retract the yardage and retract the touchdown.
And retract the chunk play. Big strike there to get the touchdown. Now they've got to take it back and see if they've got another one still in their arsenal.
Going down the middle, and it's complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Gunnar Olszewski on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Steelers are pouring it on. York on now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other, because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at one.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they've got it very deep in enemy territory. It's inside the 5 at the 3-yard line, 1st and goal.
Well, that's the down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, and caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Jake Kumaro from 3 yards out. And the Steelers extend their lead yet again. Well, what a quick turnaround there. They get the football. Next play, boom, touchdown.
I've been in a situation before where a turnover occurs. If you're over on the bench with your defensive mate and you talk about what to do on your next series, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, you've got to get out on the field and defend right away. Not everyone is mentally prepared to go.
Is that what is yelled on the sidelines a lot of times?
That, among other things.
Maybe some words we can't share here.
Yeah, we'll just keep this one PG.
FCC violation.
No doubt.
Fielded right around the 8. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. Now Goff on 1st down. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Here's Goff. And his throw here's incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. On fourth down, Drew Chrisman on to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. On the return is Olszewski. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. 63 yards on a punt return score. And the Steelers just continue to roll.
Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there. A punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. York now for the extra point. Oh, how about this? No good. Just his second miss of the year, and our score will stay right where it is. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. Fielded right around the 8. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
To throw again on second down. Goff. And my goodness, another interception. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there. Got a nice interception and set up their offense in great shape.
A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. Looking to throw, Pickett. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
Here we go. It's Pickett on 4th down. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Kenny Pickett on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Steelers' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Boy, they were looking to throw it there on 4th and goal. It was end zone or bust. And he tucks it, puts his head down, dives in for the score.
And he certainly had that phrase uppermost in his mind. He expected to throw the ball in the end zone for a touchdown. But when that was taken away, he decided he was not going to dive short. He wasn't going to slide. He was going to get into the end zone and gave his body up in order to accomplish it.
The York on now for the extra point. Flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And he gets in. Well, no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Ready to go on offense. Out come the Bengals. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're
nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And good field position coming up here. The football at the 12-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go right here, baby.
Now a first down carry for Harris. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Some teams like to start aggressive to begin a drive, but this is still what you expect to see in normal situations. Just call a simple run, get a few yards to begin the series, and set yourself up for something bigger on 2nd down.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Kenny Pickett on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Steelers have got it on cruise control. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
York now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by and he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded right around the 8. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And in a spot like this, still more than a minute, I think if you put something on the board before halftime, that would go a long way towards helping them get back into the game.
There actually is something to the psychology of the game at times, isn't there? How much better would they feel running into the locker room, as you noted, with something on the board in a positive fashion? You're exactly right. It's a great opportunity to get that done.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
On third down, Mixon, and he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense going to have to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
That's taken it around the 40. A 40-yard punt, give him 3 on the return, and that will come the offense as they take over. One more drive here for the Steeler offense in this first half. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. To the air on first down with Pickett. And that's caught inside the 30. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Gunnar Olszewski as the first half is winding down. And the Steelers would extend their lead here just before halftime.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
The York on now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just 1 play resulting in the touchdown. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Fielded right around the 8. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And it's the Ravens who have the lead as they play the second quarter. Lamar Jackson has a touchdown pass. From there, we head to the Big Apple, more specifically to MetLife Stadium in Jersey to check on the Giants. And this one going the visitors' way as the Cardinals have the lead in that one. Marquise Brown, a touchdown reception. Finally, we head to the shores of Lake Erie, see what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And they were winners in that one as they defeat the visiting Tennessee Titans. Hunter Renfrow, a touchdown catch in the victory. Time now for a check of the next-gen stats for the Steelers in that first half. And our statistician may need a vacation after this one's said and done. What a first half they had throwing the football.
over 300 yards passing already. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they were on the other end of the spectrum in terms of passing efficiency. That's going to need to improve in the second half to come. Both these teams getting a chance to dry out, maybe change their cleats if need be. But halftime's just about over. Time to get back to it. And for the call of the second half, here's Brandon Gaud.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Room to run at the 50. Still going inside the 30. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Well, they're just having fun. I mean, they are clicking on every single cylinder, offense, defense, and here, special teams.
And how about the extension of the lead? This one felt a lot like, you remember Seattle-Denver Super Bowl 48, Percy Harvin to start the second half? Seattle was already firmly in control. Now, they feel like they can't be caught.
Yeah, they are firmly in control right now. York now for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Well, we talk a lot about explosive plays on offense. How about an explosive play on special teams? Certainly one there on the kick return for a touchdown. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. This will be fielded inside the 5. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of the second half. On 1st and 10, Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Extra point by York is up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Cincinnati set to take over once again. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Third down now, and those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Goff now looking to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Bengals bring out their punter now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. .35 yards that time on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10. Side of the field. First thrown out for the backup, Rodgers. And his first throw since coming in is incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers. And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal. To throw, it's Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'm guaranteeing he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
He's going to wind up and air it out. And this one is incomplete. The Steelers try it, but they come up empty on 4th down. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their... And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a... to bring up 2nd down. Another try after the 1st down sack. Goff. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down. From the gun, here's Goff. And this is going to be incomplete.
But they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is taken at the 23. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. A kind of a lucky break on the prior drive, Charles. The turnover on downs that the offense had didn't come back to bite them after the other side. Their defense came through, was able to hold them without any points.
I would agree with you, partner. A little bit of a lucky break indeed, but you know what they'd say to us. No luck, just pure skill. We rose to the challenge, and we didn't permit a score. That's how we roll.
Well, I'm kind of curious, Charles, if they might temper their aggressiveness now offensively if they get in that 4th down spot again.
Yeah, one would think so, but maybe because they held them, they might go for it again.
Throwing on 3rd down. Here's Pickett. He's going to let it go again. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
Now Pickett on 4th down. Flushed out right. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in this. And that's caught inside the 35. And he's brought down inside. Mike Tomlin has reached for that long challenge flag, and he'll throw it out there. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
So Mike Tomlin correct in his assessment to throw the flag there. Pickett now on 1st down. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Pickett will look to throw it here. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Gunnar Olszewski, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Steelers get another 3rd-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. What a great drive that was. A long drive, sustained, well executed.
I love what we're seeing out of him here in year 2, right? This young quarterback continues to evolve and grow. He's really the adage right now that John Wooden, the famous basketball coach, used to say. Be quick, but don't hurry. You can see that everything is happening for him, but he's not taking it at a pace that he can't sustain.
Extra point by York is up and good. Lead grows even larger here in the third. On first down, gone. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete. So 2nd and 10, third quarter. Thanks for tagging along with us here from the Queen City of Cincinnati. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Go. Let's dominate this.
The York on now for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be fielded inside the 5. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Bengals getting set to go. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
Now it's gone. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Taking on the midfield logo. 39 yards on the punt, give him just 1 yard on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles. And, I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the third quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Back to throw, Pickett. And that will be incomplete as well.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first.
And the Steelers first down.
Pickett now to throw off the play fake. Going across the formation, he finds Freiermuth. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Working out of the gun, it's Pickett. Touchdown! Cooper Kupp, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers are pouring it on. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
Cade York to kick off.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And that will set him up in excellent shape. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. So now, just like that, things change dramatically. It's 1st and goal. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Pass interference. Defense.
So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points.
That penalty is declined.
York now for the extra point. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it.
Cade York to kick off.
York ready, and here we go as he... This will be fielded inside the 5. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, All coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Goff. And now here is another interception. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. And right about now, you start to think, and maybe they're starting to think, gosh, maybe points aren't going to happen for us in this game.
Well, it's a thought that is worth having because so far in this game, this defense has not just had the upper hand.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Kenny Pickett taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Steelers are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. A familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Extra point by York is up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. The Bengals drive about to get going. But the disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling up and up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook, but bottom line is don't quit competing.
Here's 2nd and 10. Goff now looks to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Cole Holcomb. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense, diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It's a gain of 6, moves them to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal. Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league. No question about it. That wasn't...
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Gunnar Olszewski taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Steelers add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. York on now for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Facing a big fourth-quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Back to throw, Goff. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Here's Goff. His throw incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Goff. And that is incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass. Almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Rudolph going to lead the Steelers up now 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Well, part of why that play works is because the defense has to freeze because they don't know whether he's going to hand it off or keep it himself. And this time, how about that sleight of hand there? Gives it to his wideout. And that indecision defensively, boy, it hurt him in a big way.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. To throw on 2nd and 10, Rudolph. And that's caught inside the 35. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 63 yards. And the Steelers are on their way to a sensational 13-0 start as they extend their lead here. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all three phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And I believe he was able to get this back. He was. Boy, after giving up the touchdown, lucky that didn't turn into another. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Fortunately for him, that ball stayed close so that he could recover it on his own.
And you know the prayers that were going through his head as the ball escaped from him? How happy was he at the end of it when he found the football again, able to retain?
And now here is another interception. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been up. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Gunnar Olszewski from 4 yards out. And the Steelers are on their way to a 13th win on the year as they add on to their lead. CD, it'll go into the books as just one win, but this is a really impressive win. They've done it on defense, and here they continue to do it on offense. Another score in the fourth quarter to widen that advantage.
I like where you were going with that one. Would you say, partner, it was really 3 victories today? Landslide on the scoreboard Emphatic victory on either side of the ball. They really got it done.
York now for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the fourth quarter and a big deficit, Charles, but they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board. So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Throwing on 3rd. Goff. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Taken right about the 40. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return. And the Steelers set to take the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start.
And now a loose football. The ball comes out. And the Bengals grab it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
In today's NFL, most...
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now, the question, was the knee, in fact, down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Rudolph. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Gunnar O'Shea. He flat out can't be stopped. And the Steelers continue to run up the score. They lead it big here in the 4th. Extra point by York is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Eluding the pressure, and he's going to go down. Can't get rid of it, so a sack on the 2-point try.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now a first down throw, gone. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
To throw is Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded right around the 8. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like 1 possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Oh, we're always talking about the athleticism we see from these guys on the field. How about the intelligence as well? He recognized that there was a screen pass on that one, broke off his pass rush, and got back to tackle the running back. That's great scouting and great reaction.
And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. A 54-yard punt return there. And the Steelers extend their lead yet again. As that lead just swells and swells. Look, this has been dominance in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
So don't we have to give a lot of credit, not just to what we've seen today, but the preparation in advance, coaching staff, commitment by the players to the game plan, and being ready to go in this one? You're exactly right. Clean sweep. And, boy, they're going to celebrate this one after it's over.
And on the other side, this is the game film you just flush and never go back and review. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. Fielded right around the 8. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Here's Gone. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
Partner, my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
Olszewski now to return. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Elsewhere, fourth quarter score now from Baltimore. Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs. Right at the 50-yard line. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And, oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal. Now Pickett. A throw caught by Kumaro. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give them 25 yards. They have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start. And pass plays like we just saw, they're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the fourth quarter.
And that they have in every way. And plays like that across all phases of the...
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Another touchdown here in the fourth quarter. And, Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And, partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams. And that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Now York on now for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And I believe he was able to get this back. He was. Boy, after giving up the touchdown, lucky that didn't turn into another. The Bengals drive about to get going. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Now a 2nd down and 6. Goff now to throw. Try to drop one in, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Out of the gun, Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And that might just cement it. A return for a late touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Extra point by York is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded right around the 8. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. And out now, here come the Bengals. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Gone. Oh, and that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
I got you, baby. You're supposed to catch that, baby. That's how we eat. Bring it. What's the deal?
The Bengals bring out their punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. Taking it about the 36. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it looks like he'll throw here. A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Pickett. And that will be incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy, because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out, because this one, it was over a long time ago.
On first down, it's gone. And his throw is incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them, because just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything.
And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Cameron Thomas in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it looks like Steeler football. It is.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Pickett, he'll look to throw it. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. But Charles, they're still airing it out at this point despite that huge lead. And some people may be saying, well, why are they throwing the football? These guys, I guess, are just padding their stats at this point.
Yeah, a lot of big grins, I think, from people in their families, from themselves. You're exactly right. Pad the stats when you get an opportunity. It'll certainly help you come contract time.
One last throw here for Goff. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Pittsburgh, the streak lives as they move to 13.